when you have that grind, when you take off that 1 week of work to hunt the rut, you do not want to sacrifice on anything. You know, this piece will keep you in the game. What's up, guys? It's Chris B here. Today, we are going to dive into probably my favorite whitetail piece and system from Sitka. If I had only one system in my setup for all fall, I would definitely put all of my eggs into this basket, and it's a Fanatic system. I mean, it's the staple of what Sitka has been known for, of their hardcore whitetail rut system. And you know, it's so important when you get into those miserable times of November 15th, it's 30 degrees, north wind in your face. You have to be mentally into it. And if you are cold and are battling the conditions and need to get down at 11 o'clock in the morning and go get lunch and warm up, and you check your camera and the buck walks by 30 minutes later, I mean, you just can't do that. So having the right gear, keeping your mind in it, keeping you warm is so huge. And that's where the Fanatic system really comes in. Definitely one of my favorite pieces. And I'll kind of talk about when I start using them, kind of the use cases about them a little bit. So we're gonna start with the bibs. I think I use the bibs a little bit more than the jacket. And I'll actually start using these bibs sometimes at the end and middle October, when you get into those super cold October cold fronts, especially if you go a little bit more north in the country. You can really regulate your body heat when you wear these, because you have side zips. So whenever walking into the stand, you can actually wear these bibs, side zip down, and you can really dump a lot of heat walking in. You also have these front zips. You can really unzip and really ventilate walking out. So when it's, you know, maybe 40 degrees walking in the stand, you really don't have a lot of issues with that. And then where I really regulate a lot of my body heat is on my upper pieces. So I'll run really light on my upper piece and then stay really warm on my bottoms. So now we're gonna run through all of the features that are in the bibs. So this thing's packed load of features. Obviously it's built for your serious Midwest November whitetail hunter. So keep that in mind, but we'll go kind of top to bottom. So we have these very elastic suspenders here that are very form-fitting to your body, with tons of adjustments here. We have the super little clip here, just pop in, pop out, whatever. Even if you're changing what you're wearing underneath, you can kind of change it on the fly. If you have a heavier layer, lighter layer, you just very easily clip it up and down. Then you have this big zip, which is great for putting them on, but it's also good for ventilation. As you're walking out, you can keep it unzipped. You can just get that ventilation there. So, and obviously the insulation on the inside is insanely warm. So we're working down. We have a lot of stretch on your side. It really is more so as you move, as you're climbing up the stand, and also as you gain weight throughout the season, maybe from eating all those snacks in the tree stand, but also your insulation pieces, you can really form fit with that. So we have your classic cell phone pockets on each side, and then you have these awesome cargo pockets on each side that are quiet buttons. You have tons of room on the inside, little zipper, and then I call this my grunt tube pocket. I keep my grunt tube right here in the side, so I'm sitting in the tree stand. It's really easily and convenient, especially if I'm not wearing the jacket and I'm just wearing the bibs. I can always have my grunt tube, always have, you know, your little quick necessities right here in your cargo pockets as you're sitting down in your tree stand. So, and then we have our side zips, which are great for obviously putting on if you have boots on, and then ventilation as you're getting in and out of your stand. And then we have our body mapping. So especially on the jacket, body mapping is important, but on the bibs, it's also very important. As you put on boots, a lot of whitetail hunters wear rubber boots, I know I do, and you just don't need a lot of extra down low. So you can wear these with your rubber boots. Really easy to walk out with. You're not looking like a Michelin man, and it also helps with burrs. You really do not pick up a lot of burrs on these. And then it's quiet. It's just this insane quiet fleece on here. I will run this starting late October all the way through to December. It's such a versatile piece. It helps you regulate body heat, and then you can really manage that on your top layer. So in both of these pieces we have, which honestly is the most important thing to keep you warm, which is wind stopper. So you have wind stopper in these bibs, and let's say, you know, it's late October, I just have my bibs on, I have wind stopper all the way up to my chest. Maybe my top piece is just an ambient or something, but I'm gonna stay warm all the way through from my chest all the way down. And then moving into the jacket, we have wind stopper. So your bibs paired with this, I mean, you're 100% not gonna feel wind, which wind cuts into you like no other. It makes you cold, and it's always very important that you at least have one layer of wind stopper when you're hunting in those super cold, windy conditions. And then obviously when you have the Fanatic system, you get that. So this being the ultimate bow hunter, rut hunting system into late season. You know, we want to introduce wind stopper into this, but a lot of times when you introduce like a wind stopper thing, you get noise with that. But this is the quietest system ever. I mean, it's built for the bow hunter. It's built for in that bubble. So we launching this, we talked about like you want to be whitetails in that bubble and them not to hear you, because obviously sound is so important, especially when it's cold and it's quiet. You need to be as quiet as possible. So with the body mapping, even though it is wind stopper, it's still incredibly quiet. The body mapping helps a ton, and when you're drawing back at everything, it's super quiet. Loaded with a ton of features, and it is built for the bow hunter in mind. It actually comes in a lefty version and a righty version. So if you're shooting, you know, a right-handed bow versus a left-handed bow, your mechanics are different, your pinch points are different, your string's gonna be different. So Sitka knew that, kept that in mind, and there's a left version and a right version. So we'll kind of go over that now. First with the body mapping. So this is the right-handed version, and on your left arm here, they actually cut away all of this woolly, fuzzy material and made it nice and sleek so that it actually helps you prevent from hitting your string. So a lot of clearance there. Also on your right elbow, obviously as a right-handed shooter, when you go to draw back, you have a ton of bunch up right here. And actually, if you really layer up, it can make it very difficult to draw back and shoot a good shot. So as it gets colder, you need more clothes, it's more material, and we have this sleek, less material body mapping right there that really helps put that on, especially if you only have maybe one layer underneath this. You can still shoot your bow, have proper form, and it's really awesome. So also on top of that, string clearance. Clearance around your face is a huge pain point, especially if you're running a button release or a handheld release and you gotta really have your whole hand, good contact on your face. What Sitka did is they introduced these magnets, and you can actually just quickly clip that away. So let's say it's super cold, you're all bundled up, you keep this up, in 2 seconds you can just zip and clip, and then that's gonna stay. Now you have full clearance for your bowstring, you're not gonna hit anything. And it's so important too, like we have all these features, and I guess I'll go into this a little bit. When you get these systems, so great to practice like you play. Put all this stuff on, get up in a tree stand. It could even be right before the hunt, and shoot with it. Get used to it, get used to, you know, moving this out of the way, feeling, you know, all bundled up. I mean, it's a little bit different. So huge proponent of practice like you play. Put on your gear and practice. Diving into now the diagonal zipper. So they had to do this in order to do all this cool body mapping and this magnet and everything. And the lefty and the righty versions are going to be obviously the different levels, but it gets it out of the way, and it also allows you to have this awesome kangaroo pocket in the front. So when I'm wearing this, I call this my cell phone pocket, because you can't, you gotta be watching TikToks or Instagram reels now all the time in the tree stand, so you gotta have that close by. Then you have these kangaroo big muff warmer in here. It's incredible. When you put 1 or 2 hand warmers in there, your hands will stay perfectly warm. If you even have a handheld release, it's really good to keep your release in there, keep that nice and warm, because there's nothing worse than when it's really cold and going up and grabbing your bow and then your hands freeze. Then, this is kind of an underrated feature, but the safety harness is the only super warm weather system that doesn't require you to take off your jacket to layer up. You don't have to unclip out of the tree stand. So let's say you climb up in the tree stand without your jacket on, you have your safety system on, you clip in, and then it's like, I'm getting cold, I need to put on my jacket. You don't have to clip out. So it's this easy button, you just pop it off, whip it around, and then pop it back on, so you can always stay hooked in, stay safe. We also have this little pocket up here. A lot of guys like to put a rangefinder or a grunt tube right on top there. And yeah, I think that's pretty much all the feature. We have some body mapping in the back just to stay slim. But honestly, if this is my one piece where it's like, this is the only piece I'm allowed to have all season long, and it's most important in the harshest conditions, which is that November, December timeframe during the rut and late season, this will keep you warm. This will keep your mental attitude in check. And I mean, when you have that grind, when you take off that 1 week of work to hunt the rut, you do not want to sacrifice on anything, and you know, this piece will keep you in the game, because mental attitude is everything. If you're miserable, your mental attitude is going to be miserable, and you're just going to slip up. So it's always important, pay attention to your gear, practice in your gear, and have confidence in it. So hope you guys enjoyed, hope you guys learned a thing or two, and we'll see you this fall.